Okay, so this is, I haven't practiced any of this, so I'm just going to walk through the motions as if it's just me going and trying this. To wake up the NMR first on the day, we're going to turn on the air, so the switch is there. It's pretty loud, you can hear that. And because the temperature, slightest change in temperature can change where your zero is in the field, right? So we have to run a standard that we know. So any one of these two, they both have TMS in them. And so we can take this, and let me set this down. But maybe I should look this way first. So you go get the little spinner, right? And insert this into the spinner. This is the depth gauge, so you can see that we set the height. Then we'll have to wipe this with a Kim wipe. We don't want the oils of our skin on the white plastic. We'll lift the hatch here, and this right here, that's the lever. When you see it sort of parallel to the ground like this, that means there is still some airflow coming up here, which would allow us to put this in and see how it kind of floats, and then gently, sometimes it sinks slowly, but it kind of floats. So then this lever, put your hand right on it, when you lift it up, right? Now I'm going to see if I can pick this up on the camera down there. Let's see if I can get that. I guess I kind of can. So you can see the spinner, barely. See the black marks? See how it's not spinning? But this means that your spinner is all the way to the bottom where it needs to be. When that thing starts spinning, you need to see that it's spinning fast, and it has to be at the bottom. So I'm going to try and capture this in a minute, right? So that's pretty good. So now what we're going to do, I think we should be in auto. Yeah, okay. So the lever now, when you turn it down, this is when, this is perfect. So see how the lever is down, and now I got to zoom in there again. You know what I could do? I could take this out for filming purposes, just so that I can see better down in the probe here. Okay, see how it's not spinning? This is what, on some days, when you put that lever down, sometimes it starts spinning and it's all good, but if it does not, there's a few tricks that we can play to get it spinning. So let me pause here. I'm going to put the foam back on, right? Put the foam back on here. Okay. If it doesn't start spinning, you can either put the lever back up. Some people will use the eject button here in the corner. When you push this, it ejects it, right? So one of the first things we like to do is, if it's not spinning, sometimes this thing, you almost have to grab that knob and gently pull it all the way out. And that's what this little sign here says. Because the spring in there is getting a little old, and if it's not all the way out, you don't get quite the proper amount of air down there as you should. Still not spinning. So we go to plan B. And that is, I'll take this off so I can try and capture it again. Here in the corner, you see that little tiny brass knob? And you can see the little black magic mark on it. See how it's sitting at roughly 10 or 11 o'clock position? With this knob, if you turn it towards the 12 o'clock position, and that's as far as it'll let you go. So if I turn this to 12, and I can't quite catch this, so let me see, I'm going to do this. Aha! I put it all the way to 12 o'clock, so you can see now how we're there. That increases the airflow down there, but there's a little problem with that. So now I can capture this on video. What you'll notice is, if you were watching with the light as you moved it to 12, I'm trying to really capture that. Okay, see how it's spinning? But see how that is not spinning fast enough that you can no longer make out the black magic marker lines on the white spinner. And notice how it is bumped up. It's about 1 centimeter higher than it's supposed to be, right? If I lift the lever now, you'll actually see it drop all the way to the bottom. So the trick of this is, I'm going to put this back to the 10 o'clock position in the corner, and I'm going to try and put the spin back on. And right now I can see that it's not spinning down there. See how it's dead still? So what I'm going to do, and I can't hold this at the same time, I'm going to put the camera down for a second. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the light in my right hand, and I'm watching with my eyes the spinner, and I'm holding this brass knob, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and nudge it quickly to 12 o'clock position, right? And you're trying to turn it towards 12, and the instant you see it start to spin, and sometimes you can even quickly move it to 12 and back. So you're going to play games with this. If it starts spinning fast enough, what you will do is you will make sure you turn that brass dial back to the 10 o'clock position. What you're doing is making sure that the right amount of air, and you can see it spinning fast enough now, and you know that it's down there. The worst thing you could ever do is start shimming this if that sample, because you put too much airflow with this brass knob, if it's sitting 1 centimeter too high and spinning just slowly, then your shim can really royally screw up. Doesn't hurt the machine, we just have to do some extensive sort of fix on it. So the number one thing is to make sure that you see that that sample in its spinner is sitting down low and spinning fast. So that's really the most important part of it. And if you played with that knob, make sure when it is spinning, you make sure it's at 10 o'clock position and still spinning. So what I'll do is I'll let you see with the camera, before I put this back on, what that's gonna look like. With the camera, it's a bit of a trick here to shine the light down there and then get the camera to see it. Trying to capture it here. You're not going to really see it on the camera. Oh, there we go. Right there. All you're going to see is that little center tube and then the white, and it's spinning fast enough that you can tell, wow, that is whipping around. It's not spinning slow enough that I can see those black magic marker lines on the spinner. That is good, right? So once that's done, you close the lid, and then you come over here. And remember, what we're trying to do is locate the field for the first time on the day. So let me try and set this up. So you're gonna go right into the AII window. Click on that, or double click, whatever. And then right down here in the corner, you'll see that prompt. And if it says H1, you're good. Well, you want to be in H1. If you want to, so if somebody had left it, now watch what I'll do. You type in NU space C13. And I hit enter. See how it changes the prompt to C13? So if for some reason you come up to this computer and you see it's in C13 mode, you just type in NU space H1. When you're at the screen, you simply type in shim, because you have your sample in there. So this props up. You just want to shim it. You're not auto zeroing it. That's only for people that routinely run samples with TMS in it. So we're just clicking on shim, hit enter. See the green box. This means that it is shimming. And right now it's in the FID mode, and if you want to take a look at what your spectrum would look at, you'd switch it to part per million. So right now it's in the time domain seconds. If you click on ppm, this shows you the spectrum as you would hope to see it of your sample that you're running. And because it's one of those two standards in that drawer, and we're checking the field, at the moment, but remember, this is in the shim program. But in the shim program, you can see how the TMS peak, this singlet sort of off to the far right, it looks like it's at a -1. So the field has drifted a little bit. You're not going to correct it until we actually take a sample scan. So this is the shim file. You let it do its thing, and when that green window goes away and it's done shimming, then we'll take one scan. So we'll wait for this. It might take sometimes it takes a couple minutes for this to finish shimming. Right, so this is the important thing to do on the day. So now we're good. And notice how on the shim one, when you're done, now it's got the 0 TMS sitting at 4. But no big deal. Number of scans is here. You can see it. It's 1 out of 1. If you wanted to change that, you would type in NS, enter, and then put in the number of scans you want. That's in the file here. You'll see it, the instructions. But for us, we just want to hit 0 go. So Z, G. You hit enter, and up comes where you want to store it. So if you want to create your own file, some people you can see 427-2020, that's for the students this year in the class, but you can create your own file so that you save everything in there. And then you type in the name of what you wanted to run, if it's your sample. But because this is just us checking the field on the day, I just leave it as that file and save it wherever it wants to. And it's going to run one scan. It'll pop up in a moment here. Yeah, that green window will disappear when you're done scanning, obviously. If you ever wanted to stop this, Control K will stop it. So what I'm going to do is I can do it right here. See the spectra and see the TMS way over here, right there? I can say, give me the crosshairs, and it's at -1.62. So what you would do is you would type down here, FO, field offset, so FO, enter. And see how it's telling you put in the current position of the reference? So I could put in -1.62, hit OK. Now it's saying, what do you want to set it to? I say 0, hit OK. So now what we do, we made the change, we have to check it. So we're going to hit 0, go, again, enter. And because I'm just playing around, I'll leave it as the default, wherever it wants to save it. Don't care. I want to see the spectra up here again. Now the crosshair is saying it's at -0.04. That's more than close enough. If you wanted to fix it one more step again, right, 0.03, change it to 0, but it's not a big shift. This is close enough so you're good to go afterwards. You've readjusted the field for the day. So that's it for the field offset and a brief run through. The most important thing was the spinning issue. And of course, when you're done, you know this in the other videos, the eject button, which is right in the corner here, you can barely see it. There it is in the corner. When you push it and hold it, have one hand over this, press the button, and it ejects right up into your hand. It's good for today.